I'm not a fan of Steven Seagal. Have you ever had to use a restroom after really needing to go and then being like, wow, this is the biggest shit there's ever been? Well, your poop accomplishment has to settle for second place, as Steven Seagal exists. If you've been around my channel this year, he has been the butt of many jokes, which makes sense as he's an absolute ass.
What is the essence of Zen?
So why did I hate Steven Seagal so much this year? Does this man really deserve all the shade I threw his way? Let's talk about it today and come to an answer. As for what I've read, Steven was born in the US but followed his first wife, yes, his first of the 4 wives, to Japan. Steven managed to earn a 7th Dan black belt in Aikido, I think that's how it's pronounced, which, like, I'm not a genius about this stuff, that is pretty impressive. And maybe he didn't earn it, as I guess the judge might have fallen asleep during his presentation, which that's typically how I am during his movies. But whether or not it happened, Steven has still earned it. And yes, he has been known for some tall tales in the past, but this is something you couldn't fake. Now, although many years later, here are Steven's moves. Now, to be fair, he's much older now and not as agile, but boy, he does not look like he would stand a chance in any fight at all. But he turned that success into a movie career, landing a bunch of action movie star roles. Like, I felt like the 80s and 90s were just known for so many of these stars. Like, you got the Jean-Claude Van Damme, Dolph Lundgren, Stallone, the goddamn Terminator.
I'll be back.
So Steven Seagal was among them too, and his movies were routinely awful. Feel free to go to his IMDb page and look at the movies he starred in. Most movies get it like a 6 on IMDb, below average movies get like a 5, and those special bad movies get a 4. This fucker got even below that on a consistent basis.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
Under Siege is the highest rated movie that he was the main star in, so you gotta scroll actually a while to find that one too. And maybe we'll give him some credit for executive decision, even though he wasn't close to being the top billed cast. But man, I feel like a failure at work from time to time. I bet you a lot of you do. But never do we feel as bad as an employee as Steven Seagal is at being an action star. So you gotta wonder how he still is in this business. He must be easier to fun to work with, right? Well, no. He's a dick. I just mentioned executive decision. John Leguizamo also starred in that, and he had some very negative things to say about Steven. In fact, he mauled his character from The Menu, who's supposed to be like an overrated ass actor, after Steven Seagal. And I'll be honest, I kinda wish Steven was roasted like a marshmallow at the end of that movie, so we'd be done with him for good. You can find people all over complaining about him. Like he did SNL in 1991 and was called the worst host. Like they all bashed him for his performance there and just for him being awful and just a huge dick. I think the most notorious story too is when he shit himself. I'll say all this I guess is allegedly, but it's probably fucking true. He's had some run-ins with his stunt doubles he has worked with, which as an actor I feel like is the kind of people you probably should be good friends with and not piss off. But that's neither here or there. One of those stunt performers was Gene LaBelle, who during an altercation with Steven said he could choke him out and Steven said he couldn't. So they got to it, he was choked unconscious, and apparently lost control of his bowels. It was quite the shitty situation for Steven. I could go more into how awful this guy is. There's just so much stuff you can read on Wikipedia. There's many videos of him just being an absolute ass, which you've actually seen a lot in the background right now. You can just listen to them and just realize he's just so disconnected for who he really is in society. He has probably the most comical AMA Reddit there has been. Hey, what do you know, there's the poop story. But like, I ain't the kind of guy who's gonna make a long video. I don't got that much time in my fucking life. I'm just here to say Steven Seagal sucks. I doubt this guy will redeem himself too, or ever make a mediocre movie. He's just awful. I'll probably keep roasting his fat ass next year too, as he truly deserves the hate and criticism. And I doubt he's gonna fix it. But I don't know, maybe 2024 is his year. Maybe he puts up a fight to be a better person. Although it's kinda doubtful, as for a guy who talks about a lot of fighting, he kinda rarely puts up a fight in anything he does.